Hey guys, hope everyone's okay. I just want to do a quick follow-up after the previous YouTube video. We pretty much went through the steps that you see on the screen right now when we were on a step 4, and that was, I believe, 10 days ago. Everything was absolutely ripping. We had incredible July, and now I think we are in a step 7. And I think there's a chance for the next 2-3 weeks to see a larger correction and a lot of liquidations on both long and short side, but mostly on the long side. So I want to discuss that very, very quickly. So generally we see an uptrend. It was the same last year and the same this year. Like if you look, for example, for a November election uptrend, or you look for the pump we saw in May, and so on, that usually you have that 5-6 weeks of the up only and easy mode in the uptrend, and then you have those 2-3 weeks of a cool off. And the main problem is that 80-90% people, and that's not exaggeration because you can see the sentiment on the Twitter, are increasing the size and leverage and FOMOing in towards the end of that 5-6 weeks period. So the activity of people on Twitter trading and volume and everything increased significantly last week, when everything was already up a lot since the June 22 lows, like a lot. You saw coins like, I think Pengu did like 5x or 4x, and bunch of alts did, even the irrelevant ones, 40, 50, 60% from the June lows. And people increase that size, and now they'll try to chase the place and then, make it back, or feel like they missed out and lose the money before the easy mode is back on again. So personally, I would say it's about 70% chance that within the next 2-3 weeks we see larger correction. And just last 24 hours we saw nearly 1 billion in liquidations. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is literally at the moment 4% from the all-time highs, and people get absolutely obliterated. So I just want to cover a quick playbook for the next, I would say 2-3 weeks, and where to look for some triggers. So if you look at the current range, we pretty much stuck between that 120k to 117k range since, I think it's 11 of July. So this is your current range. Let's make it gray. Oh, sorry, that's pink. Gray, there we go. And any sort of deviation above or below, it's immediately bought up. Like look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles. Any sort of dip below 117k immediately bought up. And here is also very clean. You have the big deviation, acceptance below, flush, deviation, acceptance below, flush, deviation, acceptance below, flush. And printing the very clear trend now with a lower high, lower high, lower high, and you can just assume that the trend will continue. So if we draw a trend line just over here, you see we pretty much stuck in that below, between that range and that trend line, and you have 3 scenarios. I see that they are tradable, and I want to discuss where there potentially some buying opportunities. So first scenario, and that's the bullish one, that will give about 30% chance right now. So that's the first scenario, that we are going to chop a little bit more over here, and you will see the break above the trend line, hold it, and we're trending back to all-time highs. Here's probably a good area to de-risk if that happens, and then ideally what you would like to see is a pullback to around 120, 121, consolidation, and we're ripping back to the fresh all-time highs. Everything is flying. That's the bullish scenario right now. That's number one. Where would you like to be buying? Probably around the weekly open, so around 117Ks. That could be good region to buy, assuming that, and with a stop losses below the previous week low, so below 115.7. Not a fan of this scenario. Because I think it's currently sort of a downtrend, and I think we have a magnet towards the downside. And second thing, I also believe we have a lot of stops resting here that they will be taken out very soon before any significant move to the upside. You have what we just counted, like 8-10 weeks just below that 170K. There's a lot of resting stops. So it's very possible that we might see something like that. We chop a little bit here, and we sweep below, could extend as low as 114, 113. Take those stops that will fuel liquidity. Go back above the previous week low, which is 115.7. And we're targeting at least a Monday high, and possibly even higher. So that'll be one scenario that I'll be interested to long and buy some alts. At least for short term, you get the deviation below the previous week low, so below 115.7. Hard to time could be up to 113, 14, depends how big could be a cascade. And basically, the moment you see the reclaim of that previous week low, 115.7, and it holds, that's your buy trigger, at least towards the Monday high, which is 119.7 as the main, I would say 70% take profit. And then the bullish option would be reclaim above and squeeze higher, and we continue to trend. Another option is just rejection, which will likely just cause the further downside. So that's one playbook. Let me just clear that up. The second option I see, third one is that, but also a further downside move. So that will be ideal scenario for a long and short, and opportunity also to de-risk if you didn't de-risk yet, expecting a downside. So I think that would be ideal, and that's something could be hard to time. But I really wouldn't be surprised if that happens over the next 2-3 weeks, that we're gonna obliterate long side and short side within next 2-3 weeks, and then we continue the uptrend. So personally, I think we have a magnet towards this region. So we will see the magnet towards 112 to 108 zone. And that will be your ideal buy opportunity. And that will be also a place where everyone's going to panic. They're gonna call for the new lows. You're gonna see on the timeline 80K, 90K, 70K targets, capo is right, and all that kind of jazz. This is your buy zone. Like if we get to previous quarter high, which is 112 pretty much, to previous month high, so 110.5. This is a great buying opportunity. Anything below probably going to get bought up very quickly. Could extend to 107, can't guarantee. I think this is a great buy zone that you basically pick up your favorite alts and memes and forget for at least 2-3 months. And I think ideal scenario that you can play on the long and short side would be this, that we basically going to follow the playbook I just mentioned. We chop around over here. Everyone is just going to have change their mind every 4-hour candle. We sweep below a previous week low, so sweep, reclaim, squeeze back up at least to the Monday high, some consolidation here, and we're going back here. So that will give you a perfect opportunity to enter the long side here and enter a short side here and de-risk. And this is your buy area. So chop in that range below the trend line, sweep all of that resting liquidity here. So sweep below 115.7, reclaim back above, squeeze towards the 120Ks, great de-risk opportunity here. And here is a short trigger and here is your long trigger. Let me just do that with an arrow, will be nicer. Bear with me 1 second. So long trigger and a short trigger, and that will be ideal playbook, whichever comes first. If the downside comes first, will be probably ideal here for long squeeze and continue the trend lower. And if that happens, you're basically expecting some value building over here. Second, something like that. Value means that the most of the trading will happen in this range, probably that 110 to 12. Any deviations below or above, they're gonna be either rejected or bought up. So it will basically look like that. And people are gonna absolutely lose their minds over here for 5-10 days, however long it takes. This is your buy opportunity, and then we rip back up from probably like second, third week of August towards September, October, and whatever you buy in the zone. If that happens, you can target fresh all-time highs and beyond that, and you can probably rip on any alt meme that is semi-relevant, at least 40, 50, 60%. My list is here. That's the favorite coins I'm watching. So exposure to Ethereum, BONK, Hype, DOGE, Litecoin, CRV, XRP, SBET from stocks, SPX from memes, Pango, and potentially Resolve. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about the Sol as well, but I think I'll just focus on Ethereum personally as well. But I think that's the easiest playbook. And if you had a great time in July, there was a lot of money to be made. The best thing you can do right now is to decrease size, trade less, look for extremities, so either sweep below 115.7 for longs intraday, or squeeze to 119.5, 120K for shorts. And you're looking for a buy area, ideally on that 112 and below. If anything changes, obviously we'll take it as it goes, but that will be my ideal playbook for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I think that has a decent chance of happening or something along those lines. And personally, I would suggest for the next 2-3 weeks is to take at least hour or two this week or next week, go through your best trades, go through your worst trades, see what you did well. Maybe you took profits too late or too early. Maybe you had too much of a leverage, or you had too many coins. Just do like a little performance review with yourself. Like, what did you do well and why? What you're happy and excited about from the past 2, 3, 4 weeks of trading. What did you do wrong or you would like to change? And then summary, what will be plan moving forward, that the like 2-3 things that you want to focus on to not repeat the same mistakes or improve your previous performance. So I think that will be a great plan for the next 2-3 weeks. Yeah, pretty much that's all. And stock wise, I wouldn't call any top on SPX or NDX anytime soon. I just think there's a possibility we're gonna cool off a little bit here. It's very extended move, so I really wouldn't be surprised that in the next 5-10 days we're going to see one more squeeze back up and then flush it down to the previous month high, previous quarter high, before we're gonna, you know, rip to the new highs in Q4, and that will perfectly align with some correction on the crypto side as well. But again, it's, I would say, 30% chance now we're gonna reclaim 120, continue up only, and there's no sweep lower, and we're just going to add exposure as it goes. And I'll say about 60-70% chance that there's going to be correction at least below 116k, at least that sweep of 115, 114ks before we go higher. So again, the bottom is ideal, but it's not guaranteed. So you can probably start dollar cost average if you have a opportunity here for some alts. But I think it could be also like an intraday move before we move lower and have some real consolidation for at least a couple of weeks before we rip back up higher. But again, market is very bullish, anything can happen, so I'm not saying that, you know, it's guaranteed, because it never is. That's just the ideal scenario I'll be looking at and observe for the next 2-3 weeks, and hopefully we can play either or both. Yeah, but that's pretty much all from my side. Hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Speak to you soon.